Introduction. Have you ever thought about why the love between Romeo and Juliet became a tragedy? In this video, we'll look at a love story that changed history but ended sadly. Stay with us as we see how love and hate can change people's lives. Once upon a time, in the lively city of Verona, two families, the Montagues and the Capulets, were embroiled in a bitter feud filled with anger and pride. This long-standing conflict created an atmosphere of tension and hostility that permeated every interaction in the city. During this troubled time, fate brought together a young Montague named Romeo and a beautiful Capulet named Juliet, setting the stage for a love story that would change their lives forever. Romeo was a passionate young man, filled with dreams of true love. He often wandered through the streets of Verona, longing for someone who could fill the void in his heart. His previous infatuation had left him despondent, but he remained hopeful. Juliet, only 13, was a bright and curious girl. She had been sheltered by her family's strict rules, yearning to understand the mysteries of love and independence. The contrast between their hopeful hearts and the surrounding animosity hinted at the challenges they would soon face. One special night, the Capulets held a grand masquerade ball, a dazzling event filled with music, laughter, and dancing. The ballroom was adorned with vibrant colors, and the air was thick with excitement. Romeo, trying to forget his sadness over another girl, decided to attend the party in disguise, wearing a mask. Little did he know that this night would change everything. As the night progressed, Juliet shone in her beautiful gown, radiant and enchanting, catching everyone's attention. When Romeo first laid eyes on her, it felt as though time stopped. He was mesmerized by her beauty, and Juliet felt a magnetic pull towards his kindness and charm, a stark contrast to the aggression she often encountered in her family. With hearts racing, they approached each other, their laughter filling the air. Their conversation flowed easily, filled with playful banter and sweet words. Romeo gently took Juliet's hand, and they shared a soft kiss, a spark igniting between them that neither had ever felt before. In that magical moment, they were oblivious to their family's feud, lost in the warmth of their connection. As the night drew to a close, they learned each other's names and the harsh truth that would change everything. They came from families that despised each other, yet their hearts had chosen to love. This realization set the stage for a story steeped in passion, conflict, and tragedy, foreshadowing the obstacles they would face. But fate had other plans. After their magical night, Romeo and Juliet decided to marry in secret, hoping their love could bridge the divide between their families. With the help of Friar Lawrence, a kind priest who believed in their love, they planned a quick wedding. He hoped their union might bring peace to Verona, a notion that felt both hopeful and daring. One sunny afternoon, in Friar Lawrence's small, candle-lit room, they exchanged vows. Romeo gazed into Juliet's eyes, filled with joy and hope, as he promised to love her always. Juliet, aglow with happiness, vowed to be his forever. The friar blessed their union, his heart filled with hope that this love could quell the bitterness between the Montagues and Capulets. However, their happiness was short-lived. Soon after their marriage, the tension between the Montagues and Capulets escalated. Tybalt, Juliet's hot-headed cousin, was furious to learn that Romeo had attended the ball. Feeling insulted by the perceived slight, he sought to confront Romeo, his anger fueling the already volatile situation. One fateful day, while walking through Verona, Tybalt found Romeo and challenged him to a duel. Now secretly married, Romeo refused to fight his new family member, desperate to maintain peace. He tried to calm Tybalt, insisting he meant no harm, but Tybalt was relentless, hurling insults that ignited the flames of conflict. Seeing his loyal friend Mercutio step in to defend him, Romeo felt trapped. Mercutio, brave and fiery, accepted Tybalt's challenge. The two began to fight fiercely, and tragically, Tybalt fatally wounded Mercutio. Heartbroken and enraged, Romeo's grief turned to fury, and he could no longer hold back his anger. In a fit of rage, Romeo confronted Tybalt, and they fought. In a moment fueled by grief and vengeance, Romeo killed Tybalt. The weight of his actions crashed down on him. He had lost his friend and irrevocably changed everything for Juliet's family. The gravity of his actions hung heavy in the air, marking a pivotal moment in the story. As punishment, the Prince of Verona banished Romeo from the city. Their separation left both lovers heartbroken, forced to live apart, trapped by the consequences of their family's hatred. This banishment not only severed their connection, but also deepened the tragedy of their love story. In her despair, Juliet sought help from Friar Lawrence to avoid an unwanted marriage to Paris, a suitor her parents had chosen. He devised a daring plan. Juliet would take a potion that would make her appear dead for 42 hours, allowing her to escape the marriage and reunite with Romeo. The plan was risky, but offered a glimmer of hope amid the darkness. Juliet took the potion and was laid to rest in the Capulet family tomb, a dark and foreboding place. However, a tragic misunderstanding arose. Romeo did not receive the message about her plan. Instead, he heard only that she was truly dead. Overcome with grief, he bought poison and rushed to the tomb, where he found Juliet lying still, her beauty untouched by death. In his despair, he drank the poison, believing he could not live without her. As he succumbed to the poison's effects, Juliet awoke from her death-like slumber. When she found Romeo dead beside her, her heart shattered. In a final act of love, she took his dagger and ended her life as well, a poignant conclusion to their tragic tale. Their tragic deaths brought great sorrow to both families, forcing them to confront the terrible cost of their hatred. In their grief, the Montagues and Capulets vowed to end their feud, forever changed by the love of Romeo and Juliet. The realization of what was lost due to their animosity was a painful lesson learned too late. Conclusion: the story of Romeo and Juliet, even though it was a big tragedy in the past, still teaches us many lessons. Now, we want to hear your thoughts. Do you think tragic love stories like this should still happen today, or should we learn from past mistakes? We're looking forward to reading your comments.